Kindie Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindie crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindie Rockstars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindie Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindie Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Hello everyone. Joining me tonight for this album feature episode is Steve Elci of Steve Elci and Friends. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Hey, thanks for having me, Patrick. Really nice to be here. Great.
You got it. All right. Well, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your band, and how you got into Kindie music.
Sure. Well, I've been a musician for, 35 years at least. My dad was a big band arranger. So I grew up in a house that was filled with Count Basie and an 18-piece orchestra that was put around our basement where they practiced. And I'd watch my dad take a record and drop the needle on the record, and he'd hear a couple of notes come out, ba-da-da-do-da, and then he'd pop it off, and then he'd go to his chart and he'd write that down, and he'd orchestrate it in his own way. So I grew up in a very musical household. And I saw what it meant and what the time consuming and what the whole process was to arranging and writing. My dad was big into that. So that was a great inspiration for me going forward. In the beginning, I played drums, and on the new album, I do lots of drums. So I still maintain all the instruments that I play. But yeah, so I grew up in a very, very musical household, and I always wanted to be a rock star and alternative rock. And I played in every punk band around town here in New London, Connecticut. And so music has been with me all the time until, there was a space in time where I met my wife, we had some kids, and and it's like this is probably the standard story, but it's so true. It's like sitting around a birthday party and they want some music and they say grab the guitar, and here I am just coming out from last night's gig at the G, but I played at 1 a.m, and I'm like, all right, sure, give it a shot. And you start playing some music, and all of a sudden I saw a different vibe begin to happen for me. I saw these people dancing. I saw the kids really getting into whatever I was doing at the time. I had no idea. And I just right then I'm like, boy, last night I was playing for 17 people that, who knows where they're from. And here I'm playing for 17 kids and families, and they are going nuts about what I'm playing. And I'm not playing anything at the moment. So I really, at that point, just sort of like turned the whole corner and kind of said, boy, I think I can do this. And in Connecticut, there's not a lot of people that do it. Steve Song's a good friend of mine that does it, but as well. But we're small and but powerful and mighty. And so I saw an opportunity, and it really was the best decision I ever made.
And how long ago was this that you made that transition?
So I started. 2007. I kind of switched over, and it started out. This is the new album that we have coming out, Nutmegger. This is going to be our 5th album, and so we've had last album was Jump in the Puddles, which was fantastic, and we've just been kind of plugging along, sort of town after town, and sort of growing and just developing my own style of music, which is which is really fun. What I love about it is as a musician, you know, I play all the instruments. For me, this music needs to be for kids, it needs to be for parents, and it needs to be for me. I need to enjoy it. I want to, you know, work on my chord progressions. I want to figure out the harmonies where I want them to go. I want the drum beat to hit on the backbeat at this particular part. Like it's still very musical to me, and I want it that way because that keeps me engaged.
Now, your band prior, did they come along with you at the And Friends of Steve Elci and Friends?
So yeah, up until this album, most of everything has been with a band, and this album still could be with a band as far as playing live. But this album came about, you know, so COVID happened, as we all know, and I was halfway through an album with the band, and then COVID broke, and so here I am in my studio, and I have nowhere to go and nothing to do. So sort of tabled what I was doing and created something completely new, which ultimately became Nutmegger. So that's, you know, so the band just really, you know, some of my keyboard player, Terry, plays on this. My drummer plays on a track or so, and the rest is me.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the album then. So this is your 5th album.
Yeah.
So how did all of that come about? You know, what kind of inspired the songs? Is there a concept to it?
Sure. So, you know, during the day, I'm the manager of a homeless hospitality center in southeastern Connecticut. So I spend my day with a lot of troubled people, I'm not going to lie. And I spend my day listening to them, learning them, trying to help them. So I take all this information, this data that comes to me, and I sort of reprocess it, repurpose it for kids. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of diversity issues in the world of homeless. And so I've taken that data input that comes into me that I see in real life world, and I've turned it around to a song called Crayons in the Sun, which is about diversity. I see a lot of bullying that happens in this world that I manage. So I've turned the bullying aspect around to a song called Tugboat, which is a tugboat that pushes people around, you know. So, and then, you know, but not just causes and whatnot, but you know, I love spring. And so the title track, the first song, Daffodil Girl, which will be the first single, which comes out March 4th, which drops then. That was inspired. A friend of mine posted a picture of his daughters jumping through daffodils. And I looked at it and I said, whoa, I just the image alone just captured me, just sort of drew me in. And I'm like, wow, you know, Daffodil Girl. That's such a cool concept, right? I can see people dancing to Daffodil Girl. I said, I've just got to write a song about that. So literally that picture by Tim Cook, who's actually who actually did the photography on the album, his daughter, that inspired the start of this entire record. Entire thing came from that one concept, and it just sort of snowballed from there. So the album's got a lot of personal meaning to it. It's got a lot of fun to it. It's got the very last song, you know, is an interesting song that I've had for a while. I won't say goodbye. I had this, and it's really a rock song at first, but I turned it around, and it's a song about endangered species and animals. And it really came across really neat because it was rock oriented and it didn't work for kids, and I knew it. So I needed to change the whole vibe. So I gave it a jazz vibe. So, you know, part of the magic of what I like to do is take a concept of endangered species, and which is a pretty heavy topic, right? Mm-hmm. But if you juxtapose it with jazz or something light or something airy with some melodies, you can make the two work and sell it. And so that's sort of the process. So that song is really sort of personal to me, as I'm a big Animal fan. And it was just neat how that one came out. I've never done jazz before, I even attempted it, but I thought this was the first perfect try to give it a whirl, because I thought the busyness of a jazz chord and the groove of it would help lessen the blow of what I'm actually talking about, but yet keep the words singable. So anyway, there's a lot that goes into this. So when I look at this, I really have these multiple layers of the song that has to happen. It has to happen for me. It has to happen for kids. It has to happen for parents. It has to happen on a musical level for artists that I play with who would like to play this stuff, right? So there's just a lot that gets compacted into this, and really it doesn't go out until I feel all pieces are right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. When I make songs, I always think about the parent along with the kid. It's like I don't want the parent to ever get tired of listening, or just having a song become a negative earworm, I guess is the best way to put it. So it's kind of towing that line between making a song that's targeted for kids but want adults to like. And sometimes I think to myself, well, has this song veered too far one way? Like, will adults like this but kids not care at all? And so I had that thought. Do you run into that quite a bit?
That's the challenge, is coming up to the line, right? Is coming up to the line, and you really can't go over it. You can go under it quite a bit because you're always safe there, right? But the closer you get to the line, the more musical and more impassioned I get, because I push the adult music / kid music line. But that's the trick, is you really getting up to it, but you can't cross over, because then you've gone too far, right? So that's the trick of it all, and it's taken me 3 or 4 albums to figure that out, because we've gone too far, we've gone too little, too much. We've done it all, but now I think I figured that part out, at least from my point. Yeah.
So what inspired the title of the album, Nutmegger?
So Connecticut is the nutmeg state, right?
Oh, that's right.
So as someone that performs all over, like that's the Nutmegger, Steve Elci. I've been called this in the past, and I've always thought it was kind of neat. I'm like, the Nutmegger, and what does it mean? I didn't even know. I mean, I had to look it up what the state Nutmegger means, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. So it's sort of just like a tip my hat to Connecticut itself, where I grew up, where I kind of cut my teeth on music, cut my teeth on marketing, the whole business of this music business, right? And so I thought it was fitting that these songs kind of fall under Connecticut, where I wrote them, and thus the Nutmegger.
Got it. Yeah. All right. Ready to get into a couple of the songs?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So I know you talked a little bit about Daffodil Girl and how that kind of kicked off the whole album. But what more came in it? How did you kind of musically figure that one out?
So Daffodil Girl, the picture, as we talked about before, of the Daffodil Girl, she was dancing. So the first thing that had to happen with this song is it needed to be sort of really upbeat. It needed to have a great, my light's going to go off here. It needed to have a great, put this on here. Hey, okay. Oh, wait. It needed to have a great melody. It needed to have a great guitar riff. So, the riff that comes in, the guitar riff that comes in is very REM-ish, which I like. The kind of the lead riff over the chorus. So I wanted to put in this sort of really driving beat, this really danceable beat. But the trick of this one is I needed to have a chorus that is just in your face, and you have to sing it, and you know it when it kicks in. So that was the challenge, to really build a song that can really explode at the chorus with the daffodils themselves. And I kind of can just envision this, and actually the video is going to drop in a week, so you'll see all this come to life. But it needed to just explode with daffodils and blowing and dancing and singing and sort of driving at the same time. So all of those components needed to come in place to before I felt I had the right version of Daffodil Girl. And if you talk about the chord structure of it, it had to have the words had to be singable, but the chords, if you listen to the chords of this, it's pretty cool. There's a lot going on with the bass. There's a lot going on with the drums and how it works. And the guitar work is interesting because it does a little bit of a call and response to the singing. It's good. It really, I was very happy with the way it came out. and everybody that hears it, they just think, oh yeah, it's good, just as one of those classic, yep, that's a hit, put it up there, it just, you could just tell what that is, right? So anyway, so we were happy with the way that came out, especially in the production with Dave Tuzia, who's my producer. Really just took it to the next level, and really just amped it up, and all the sounds that came out. I bring in these basic ideas of these songs, and I play them, and I do them, and I go home, and I come back the next day, and he's been dialed it in. I'm like going, whoa, this is just fabulous. This is exactly what I want and better. So we had a good time making it.
Excellent. All right. Well, it's time for people to hear it. Here is Daffodil Girl by Steve, Elci, and Friends.
I love my little daffodil girl. I love my little daffodil girl. In the morning, you run through the flowers, having so much fun. Your laughter is contagious for hours, brings joy to everyone. Oh, oh, I love my little daffodil girl. Daffodil girl. I love my little daffodil girl. Daffodil girl. When it rains, you dance for hours with your umbrella in hand. You sing for all the flowers who are your biggest fans. Oh, oh, I love my little daffodil girl. Daffodil girl. I love my little daffodil girl. Daffodil girl. Oh, yellow and white daffodils glow in the pale moonlight for you. Woo! I love my little daffodil girl. I love my little daffodil girl. Daffodil girl. I love my little daffodil girl. Daffodil girl. I love my little daffodil girl. Daffodil girl. I love my little daffodil girl.
That was Daffodil Girl. All right, moving on to the next song. It is called Yellow and Green. So talk a little bit about this one.
Sure. Yellow and Green is one of my favorite songs on this album, and it for a lot of different reasons. I pay sort of like a little homage to the Beatles, if you will. I give them a little credit on this one because this has a yellow and green. Listen, we in New London here, we live at the submarine capital of the world. So every day when I take a look outside, I see lighthouses and submarines coming in and out. I'm a huge Beatles fan. This is an easy sell for me. So anything I can do to bring in a Beatle feel, I always try it. So in the end, you have the Beatles feel. We're back and forth, and there's a bunch of different melodies and singing going on, which is fine. There's some horns that come into this one, but Yellow and Green is really just it's just an imaginary world. And like Yellow Submarine, one part of it is that, because that's where I live, and the green is just my love for the forests. So and just being in the wild, in the water. We live on the water here, so kind of yellow and green is sort of is really just two colors that I like to say together. And as I'm creating the song, and when you hear the song, it's got this really good, cool little fill beat that comes in that I played, and it drives along, and it's got a little I don't want to say reggae-ish, but a little bit of a offbeat keyboard that kind of keeps it pumping. It's really just a feel-good song, a dance song in an imaginary world of yellow and green. And the highlight of this is when you listen to it is as the chorus builds in and we go get our ice cream in yellow and green. It's there's so much, this is where it climaxes up, and there's lots of different little ear candy keyboards that come in, and keeping it very melodic, keeping it musical, and keeping it simple so you can sing it is just always the challenge. This is a theme that we're going to come back to all night here. So this is just one of my favorites. I like the way it came out. The vibe is right, the feel is right, the sounds are right, and I love to sing it.
Yeah, I dug this one too as I was listening to your songs. This one I really liked. All right, well, let's check it out. Here is Yellow and Green by Steve Elci and Friends.
I live in a world where everything is yellow and green. The earth and sky, my toys, the submarines, yeah. Woo! All my friends are here and dancing with me. We all play in my world of yellow and green. My world, yellow and green. My world, yellow and green. My world. It's a place where things just are not what they seem. What's up is down, what's in is out, the truth lies somewhere in between, yeah. Day is night, night is day. What does it all mean? The games we play in my world of yellow and green. My world, yellow and green. My world, yellow and green. My world. Lemonade and ice cream. Oh, yellow and green. Rainbows and daydreams. In my world of yellow and green. My world. My world.
And that was Yellow and Green. All right, moving on to the next song. This one is called Only One You. So talk a little bit about this one.
Sure. So Steve Elci and Friends, obviously there are friends with me here, and Casey and Michelle are my two edutainers that perform with me, who are out in front, sort of giving kids a little bit of action and movement to the songs that I'm singing. So that's their role, and they do it extremely well, very professional and very funny. And they sort of, once again, do the off balance of some of the songs that I'm singing with some of the different and heavy topics. They bring light to them a little bit and make them easier for everyone to understand and to just get into. But this one, Only One You, is a self-empowerment song. Really, it's a song that really talks about the strength in you, that you're special. And there's millions of stars, but only one you. It's like, and that is the key line that I brought into this song that I thought was really just perfect for the idea of this. Because if you think about the stars out there, right, there's every one of them is there's so many, but every one of them is special. Every one of them has a little different light, a little different twinge, a little different something, right? And so that's really the message of this song: is there's millions of stars, there's millions of people, there's millions of different everything out there, but there's only one you. You're very special. And that's the key to the song. And so Casey and Michelle perform, and they do this on every one of my records. Is they perform a little rap, a verse. They rap the verse, and I usually sing a little bit of the chorus, the bridge, and the chorus and the bridge, and that's how it kind of works together. The bridge of this song is really the magic, right? Where it's sort of an accidental magic, and as a songwriter, Patrick, I'm sure you can understand this. Sometimes when you're writing in the studio and you have it, you do it on your acoustic guitar and you're just kind of playing, and all of a sudden you're experimenting with different sounds, and you're like, okay, that is where it needed to go right there. That's sort of the build up and the response and the breakdown of what I needed in this music. So, so it comes in and it's got this, this keyboard with a, like a whistle going on kind of thing that I played on. Yeah, anyways, it just all worked together. And I'm singing. And what's great about this is here, the music in the bridge is a little bit elaborate. So I didn't sing so much. I actually designed it so I'd sing less, so the music and what's going on isn't clashing together. So there was a lot of thought into this one. And what's great is on the chorus where there's a Dave Tuzzi, my producer's daughter, Leah, she sings, millions of stars. Like she does the voice that's coming down, kind of cascading down from the stars. Well, that's a child, and we love it that she sings and she's part of it, because she always wants to be part of the albums. And so it all worked. You got the rappers, you got the kid singer, and I'm singing it over, and you got a really powerful guitar hook. If you listen into the song, there's a guitar hook that's in there. It's kind of like that really comes in and out through the whole song. And it was built on that hook alone. So this has a lot of pieces. And as soon as we were done with it, we knew this was another single that we can put out there for sure.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot going on with this song, and you're absolutely right. That one line, if you asked me to repeat any line from the song, it would have been that lots of stars, but only one you. So that's a great message.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right, well, let's play it. Here is Only One You by Steve Elci and Friends.
You are the moon. You are the sun. You are the joy in everyone.
Universe is what I see in your eyes, and I am thankful every day that I won life's great prize. You make every day a miracle by just being you. I cannot imagine anything that you cannot do.
There's millions of stars, but only one you. There's millions of stars, but only one you.
Your smile is my sunshine and your laughter my song. You cast a spell on everyone when you came along. I believe that you can tackle anything that you face. I will love you to the moon and back through time and space.
There's millions of stars, but only one you. There's millions of stars, but only one you. Hey, starlight, you're the most beautiful star in my life. Hey, it's true. There's millions of stars, but only one you.
Starlight, star bright. You're the brightest star in my life. Through the window, the night shines through. There's millions of stars, but only one you. Hey!
You are my moon and my sun. You are the joy in everyone. You are my star, my Milky Way, the brightest part of my day. Millions of stars, tiny hands, soft and
That was Only One You. All right, moving on to the next song, Silly Words. So tell us all about the words that are silly and how you came up with them.
Well, so growing up, as we had said before, it was a musical family, but it was also in the music was a lot of funny words. And I'd get that a lot. My dad and my mom. My dad would be writing, on his keyboard, and he'd be making up words to these notes that he was writing, and I always thought it was funny. My mom would then joke about that, and we create our own words about different things, from food to anything. We would just create. We'd almost had another language of just these crazy words. So I wanted to incorporate that into a song. My mom passed away a few years back, and some of these crazy words are ones that she wrote, or not wrote, but would say. And so I had to pull them in to this song because I felt like, sort of just thanking her for the inspiration. And here it is. So this song has lots of different silly words. The trick about this song was, and this is, again, I don't know how it happened, how it works, but I think it does. You think of silly words, you think of the music also being a bit goofy with it. And I started out that way with these goofy chords and trying to make the silly words match the goofy chords. But I thought, as I was doing it, I'm going, it's almost like I'm wearing too much plaid trying to do that. It's like too much silly, right? So I decided, well, let's have the words be silly, and I knew what I had on this album, and I knew I didn't have too many kind of ballady things. So I thought, let's bring it down and let's have the music come down, and let's have the silly words sort of be silly, and see how that works. So I felt I came up with a great little music scheme to this that really is soft, and it sort of explodes on the chorus, which is what I wanted, where people can jump around and dance and sing silly words. And it worked nicely. And the bridge then kicks in with, we have a bunch of kids singing on the bridge. So this song has lots of pieces to it that I had to continue to write because it wasn't feeling complete. And as songwriters out there listening, I know you guys know that when you're writing a song, you're like, yeah, but it's just not quite right. It's just not quite right, right? So I had to keep going. And so, we have the bridge, and then we had this sort of a little after bridge that happens, and then it pulls back to the chorus again. And to fit all the pieces together was the big challenge of this. But we got it to work, and I think, when you want to talk about musicality, or this particular song is very musical, and it actually was one of the more difficult ones to play on my acoustic, as we had there's lots of different layers happening to kind of give it a soft sound. But this song is one of my personal favorites, again, because like I said, this is something my mom and I, we would just sing these words. And I just had to somehow get it into this record and sort of get it into music. And this is what we came up with.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's check it out. Here is Silly Words by Steve, Elci, and Friends.
Sometimes I like to sit and make up words like Fafalina, Zozo, Lupular. These are my silly words, my silly words. Sometimes I give my food a made-up name, like Quichiami, Mool, or Pepelane. These are my silly words, my silly words, silly words. Silly words, they make me laugh. Some kids like to sing or take a photograph, but not me. La 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 la. Silly words in my head. before I go to bed. These are my silly words, my silly words, silly words. Silly words, they make me laugh. Some kids like to sing or take a photograph, but not me. Sometimes I like to sit and make up words.
And I hope you enjoyed those silly words from Silly Words. All right. Last song featured here is called Crayons in the Sun. I know you talked a little bit about this already, but go into the story on this one.
Sure. So, again, back to where I work at managing the Homeless Hospitality Center in New London. It's every day we see issues with diversity and all kinds of things. So, as this is continuously, kind of pounding my brain, it's, at the same time, and all our brains sort of work different, but mine is, as I take this information, my brain immediately starts to put it in a children's song. And so this is who we are, right? So this is, working here for so long, this has been on my mind to create, another diversity song. In 2012, I had an album called Crayons in a Box, which was about diversity as well. But this one came about a little bit different, sort of the same topic, but a much richer meaning. I was really able to go a little bit deeper, bring in Casey and Michelle to throw in some raps here and there and to provide some harmonies. And this all came about, playing my guitar. The melody that you hear over it was sort of something I was bouncing around for a while. It really is a magical melody, especially on guitar. It's recorded a bit different, but if I played it acoustic, you'd be like, oh, that's so beautiful. And that's sort of what it was, except playing it that way and singing the words. I was like, okay, I love it, but it's really not feeling too kid-like to me, or even I even want to dance to, or even want to listen to it. Just a little too dark. So the magic of the production, we went in there and we looked for different sounds, beats, a little bit more poppy of a beat to bring it up. Created a great little keyboard overlay. And then really had to nail the parts that, especially the harmonies, because that's where it lifts. This is, again, another song where the topic is sort of heavy. It's something I am constantly, fighting against or fighting for diversity. And this, I just felt I needed to do this, another song about this, especially in the state of the world that we're in right now. So here was my opportunity to create this, because I thought I had a great music piece to create it, to put the right words in, and that once again I can get in front of audiences with a new song about diversity and help them right from the beginning sort of just understand what's happening in the best kid way that I can put it, and from my brand, right? So this was a tough one to write, because this is one of those ones, Patrick, where you really push the line, right? You push that line of, am I going too far? Am I not? Is it not kid friendly enough? But in the end, when I listen to it, the kids, I believe, will like it. And I think the parents are really going to like it, and that's part of the other trick there, right? As we talked about before, the parents have to like it too. And I think this has such a great message. It has such great melody, and it has some nice singable parts that I think this is going to ring through to both kids and adults.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to play it right now. Here is Crayons in the Sun by Steve Elci and Friends.
together hand in hand. Colors, true colors, little rainbows in disguise.
Join hands and look to the sky.
Colors, sweet colors, see the innocence in their eyes. Time of hope, time of choice, time to listen, a time to rejoice. With love we'll make a stand, together hand in hand. Rise up, child.
Be the best of you, show the world what you can do. We all have special gifts to share, so trust yourself and know it's true.
Rise up,
Time
child.
to take a stand, lend the world a helping hand. Be the light and shine so bright we see it all across the land.
Rise up, child.
You can change the day, love your friends and find a way. Look for special things inside and make the world a better place.
Rise up, child.
Be the one who leads with your words and with your deeds. In this garden built with love, you're the one who plants the seeds.
Colors, true colors, like crayons in the sun.
That was Crayons in the Sun. All right, I hope you enjoyed these featured songs from Nutmegger. So Steve, let everybody know where they can stream and download your music and where they can find and connect with you on social media.
Sure. So on social media, Facebook, it's Steve Elci and Friends. You can find me there, or they can just find me, Stephen Elci, and happy to chat with you. My website, steveelciandfriends.com. You can always go there. Instagram, the same. Twitter, the same. And the album. So the album drops May 6th officially, but you can start streaming the first single May 4th on Apple, on all, Spotify, all streaming platforms. And it starts on May 4th. And every 2 weeks, we're going to drop up to four more singles, and they will be backed by videos, which we already have. So I'm very excited. This is sort of a new thing, is doing the videos and the releases kind of corresponding at the same time. And like I really had time to do all this, but we got it done anyway. So in March 1st, we'll drop the video to Daffodil Girl, and March 4th, Daffodil Girl will be released on all streaming platforms. And May 6th, the entire album will be released on all platforms as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, until May, people can come to this episode to get a nice preview of the album. I love it. Steve, thank you so much for being on the show. This was great.
Patrick, thanks for having me, and had a great time.
All right. Talk to you again soon.